Okay. Welcome back to episode 5 of Nick Lenz's Heroes Who Are Awesome and Cool. In this episode, we're talking about this character who appears on the cover of this book, this guy right here, the Spectre. In the last episode, I talked about this guy, Dr. Fate. Now, the Spectre is created by one of Shootman's co-creators, Jerry Siegel. He's also created by Bernard Bailey. Okay? He made his first appearance in More Fun Comics number 32, which I believe is also the debut of Dr. Fate. However, there's a cover on here that originally his cloak was originally blue. His cloak, gloves, underwear, and boots were originally blue when he made his debut. That's how I look in the cover. But they decided to make him green later on. Now, there have been 3 different hosts to the Spectre. First, Jim Kerrigan. Second, the Silver Age Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. And the third one, deceased Gotham City Police Detective, Crispus Allen. Now, first we're going to talk about Jim Kerrigan. Now, Jim Kerrigan is a quite confusing character in a way. There are 3 different Jim Kerrigans. The one who was the Spectre, number 2 was a black cop in the pages of Black Lightning Volume 1, and the third Jim Kerrigan, the one who actually killed Crispus Allen. That one was a cop, just like the original Jim Kerrigan was. The only difference is they made him a crooked cop, and he was also a forensic scientist who liked to sell crime scene memorabilia. Now, the Spectre would generally appear in More Fun Comics and All-Star Comics. He appeared in this comic, well, not this book particularly, but he did appear in the book. He stayed with the JSA in the Golden Age from issue 3 up until issue 23. So basically, he was with the group for 21 issues, and then he stopped appearing in the book altogether during the Golden Age. In More Fun Comics, he stayed there for 31 issues. He stayed up into issue 101, which he stopped appearing after that. Okay? Then he decided to appear regularly for team-ups. Then he appeared in 3 issues of Showcase. I believe it was like 60. It was like 60 to 61. Give me a second here. Am I still on? Good. He appeared in the comic for issues 61, 61, and 64, where the book was written by Gardner Fox, the guy who created Barry Allen. And Gardner Fox is no longer around, near as Jerry Siegel. Despite the fact that he's not very well known outside the comics because he hasn't appeared in television shows very much, here we go. His other appearances throughout the Silver Age, let's see if I can get to it. Oh, here it is. Okay. He also appeared in Brave and the Bold, 72, 75, 116, 180, and 189. He also appeared in DC Comics Presents 29, Ghost issues 97 to 99, the Doc 13 feature, Adventure Comics 431 to 440, and of course the volumes of the Spectre. First 3 volumes. The first volume was 10 issues long, and then of course he later appeared in the pages of Adventure Comics. The second volume was 31 issues and 1 annual. And the third and last volume he appeared in, as Jim Kerrigan, that lasted for 63 issues in issue 0 and 1 annual. Let's see. He also appeared somewhat in All-Star Squadrons. Yes. Like I said before, when I reviewed Books of Magic, he made a cameo in Neil Gaiman's Book of Magic, which is the debut of Tim Hunter. Now, pretty much, Jim Kerrigan was actually the Spectre for years. From his debut in 1940 up until the miniseries Day of Judgment, which came out in the year, let me get a chance to do this, came out in the year 1999, which is when they officially retired the character of Jim Kerrigan and handed over to Howard Jordan. So basically, Jim Kerrigan, the first Jim Kerrigan, he was the Spectre for 59 years. He spent almost 60 years as the Spectre. And then it went to Howard Jordan, who got it from the moment this happened, and he was the Spectre for a certain period of time. He appeared in a page of JSA as the Spectre. Jim Kerrigan never appeared in the page JSA. He was mentioned when Christmas Allen became the Spectre. Now, he was the Spectre up until the events of Green Lantern Rebirth, which was a 6-issue miniseries which basically brought him back to life. Howard Jordan had been killed off in the crossover event known as Final Night, where he sacrificed himself to save Earth's sun from going out. So basically, okay, this is up until like 2004. Basically, he was the Spectre for about 5 years. He even had his own volume as the Spectre, lasting for 7 issues before ending. He didn't particularly do very much as the Spectre, not as big as grand as, let's say, Jim Kerrigan. He was the Spectre, but he had trouble controlling. He had trouble being the Spectre throughout most of the time. Oh, I almost forgot. The Spectre's real name, the actual Spectre itself, his real name is Azar. Just like Dr. Fate, he is basically the host. The Spectre thing is just a name. We look at him, that's Azar, not one of the hosts, in a way. But he's also known as DC Comics Spirit of Vengeance, just like Marvel Comics had their own Spirit of Vengeance, a.k.a. the Gosso, which I will get to in the next episode. Mainly, right after Hal Jordan gave up being the Spectre, for about a few years, I'd say for a little over a year, there was no Spectre host. Spectre was going crazy. He even took on Amethyst from Gem World, and she kicked his butt. But she didn't defeat him. She survived and encountered with him, because the Spectre is just a crazy individual. You see, Spectre likes to kill people. He doesn't have much problem with doing it. The Panther Stranger does not kill people. The Spectre does. If you look at the Spectre, he has not changed at all. Despite how people draw him, he looks pretty much the same. Chalk skin, and wears everything green with his outfit. Green cloak, green gloves, green shorts, and green boots. Then came Christmas Allen, who was basically the Spectre from Infinite Crisis up until the DC relaunch in 2011. As the Spectre, he got his own volume as the Spectre, lasting for 3 issues. It was Infinite Crisis Aftermath miniseries. And then he appeared in Tales of Spectre. Now, Christmas Allen made his debut in Detective Comics 772. He was created by Greg Rucka and Sean Mortba, I think as they pronounce him. Yes, the same guy who also will write stuff for Wonder Woman, Punisher, all these other people. Basically, he had been killed by the third Jim Kerrigan, the crooked cop one. When he became the Spectre, he said, when he was asked to become new host of Spectre, he said no. And this is according to the Spectre. I read this from a particular comic. You're the first person to actually turn down my request for you to become my new host for the first time in 2,000 years. And that's pretty ballsy for Christmas Allen to turn him down. Despite the fact that he became the Spectre, he never killed Jim Kerrigan. His son did that. Malcolm Allen ended up later killing Christmas Allen at the end of the Spectre miniseries. Christmas Allen did also appear once in the pages of Justice Society of America as the Spectre. But he never did, in fact, join the JSA. The Spectre never joined the JSA post-Crisis. Post-Crisis Infinite. He was mainly on his own. And thanks to Spectre's third volume, when Jim Kerrigan was running the title, that introduced Michael Holt, a.k.a. the second Mr. Terrific. Pretty much, it was the second to last issue of the series, so Doug Moak decided to introduce a new character, a.k.a. Michael Holt. So he introduced him. So basically, he told him about the original Mr. Terrific, Terry Salone, who was the original Mr. Terrific, and he later on became Mr. Terrific, and in New 52, Michael Holt got his own series of Mr. Terrific, though it got canceled to 8 issues. When DC relaunch happened in 2011, the Spectre was kind of, in a way, gone, but that lasted for about a year until he showed up in the pages of Phantom Stranger. He showed up, well, as Jim Kerrigan in issue 0. Later on, he did, in fact, become the Spectre. So, thanks to the writer of Trinity of Sin, well, now known as Trinity of Sin, Phantom Stranger Volume 4, you have Jim Kerrigan back as the Spectre for the first time in probably, I'd say, 13 years? Yeah, it had been 13 years since Jim Kerrigan had been the Spectre. Did it have a problem with the fact when they changed from Christmas on back to the original? No. I mean, you gotta have him in New 52 continuity, but he was introduced on Prime Earth. Unlike the original Jim Kerrigan, when he made his debut back in the Golden Age, it was on Earth 2. Now, mainly the Spectre was simply a loner. He never really got involved with the JSA post-Crisis. Pre-Crisis, he was involved pretty much frequently about the Silver Age. I mean, he was such a cool character. He's such a cool character to read, but I've read the Showcase Presents Spectre Volume 1. It's a very good book. It collects pretty much almost all of his Silver and Bronze Age appearances. If you want to look for his Golden Age appearances, they only got this one book. I don't really know why this is. DC Comics has not released any more books for this. But there is a Golden Age Spectre Archive Edition. And it only collects More Fun Comics 52 through 70. That's it. Excuse me. I think it was 40, wasn't it? It was 52, yeah. Basically, 52 to 70. So basically, it only collects 19 issues of, well, the first 19 stories of the Spectre's run on More Fun Comics. Was More Fun Comics ever revived in any way, shape, or form? No. More Fun Comics never came back after it was canceled. It became a humor comic after issue 101, which was the issue that had the debut of Superboy, the first Superboy, who was basically Superman as a teenager, which later set the step up, basically became the Superboy TV show and the Smallville TV show. But I'm not here to talk about the Superboy. I'm here to talk about the Spectre. Now, why is the Spectre so interesting to read about? Because he's kind of a dark character, he's supernatural, and, well, I almost forgot. Currently, he is taking part in the Forever Evil Blight crossover, and he has a very big grudge against John Constantine. Those of you who know about John Constantine, him and his frequent appearances throughout the Vertigo universe, and now him appearing in the regular universe, where he has made a little over 40 appearances in the past 2 years alone. I mean, ever since they got rid of Hellblazer, he's been appearing frequently throughout the DC universe over the past 2 years. So basically, they decided to keep him around. But as for basically post-Forever Evil, I think it might be a good idea for the Spectre to join Justice League Dark. He's a supernatural character, why not? Except that unlike Ghost Rider, who was Spirit of Vengeance for Satan, the Spectre is God's Spirit of Vengeance. Basically, in a way, he's a fallen angel. And in some ways, he has some history with the Phantom Stranger. I'm glad the fact they actually kept that in New 52 continuity is the fact that he and the Spectre have a long history. And I'm glad the fact that when they brought him in, they actually sort of had their history with each other. Okay? And the Spectre has made a few appearances outside of the comics. He had his own short cartoon. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. He appeared in one episode of Brave and the Bold called Show of the Night, which was basically just a bunch of just an episode where they introduced the first comic appearance of Joe Chill. And basically, he was talking to the Phantom Strange in the episode and trying to convince Batman to kill Joe Chill. He doesn't kill him. He does appear another time in the Grills and Mist teaser, help track down Professor Milo, and he makes a cameo with the JSA. He does appear in live action once, where he appeared in the 2-hour episode, Absolute Justice, a really good episode. You should try it out for Smallville. It's personally one of my personal favorites. He only appears just in the painting. He does not appear outside of the painting, but technically that is his first ever live action appearance. If they ever did a prequel show to Smallville, I definitely think the Justice Society of America, well, the one that appeared in Smallville, would make a great prequel show. You can explore their history because it's implied that they had the Golden Age back in the 70s. Even in the comics, they had it back in the 40s and 50s. And basically, according to Dr. Fate, when he appeared on the show, he said that Clark will lead the new age, the Silver Age of heroes. Which is kind of true in the Silver Age of comics. Now, he has appeared in his own short. It's on the Justice League Crisis 2 Earths DVD. It's a very short. It's a very interesting. It's a very interesting short. Could I see a Spectre seen in a cartoon series? Possibly, but I highly doubt it could last more than a year because not enough people know about the Spectre. But he is an interesting character to read about. You just gotta find him. Now here's the books basically you can find Spectre comics in. For Jim Kerrigan, you got Golden Age Archives Volume 1, which collects more fun comics, 52 to 70. You have the Spectre Crime Punishment, collecting the first 4 issues of Spectre Volume 3. You have Wrath of the Spectre, which collects pretty much his entire feature from Adventure Comics, which was 431 to 440, and Wrath of the Spectre 4. And of course, as mentioned, his Showcase Presents Spectre Volume 1, which I believe is the only book that he came out with, where it collects Showcase 60 to 61, 64, the entire first volume for Spectre, which was 10 issues, his entire Adventure Comics feature, 431, 440, Brave and Bold, 72, 75, 116, 180, and 199, Ghost, 97 to 99, and DC Comics Presents 29. For Christmas Allen, you can find him in at least 3 books. Crisis Aftermath, The Spectre, which collects Crisis Aftermath, The Spectre, which is basically Spectre Volume 5, Issues 1 to 3, and Tales Unexpected 1 through 3. And there's also Spectre, Tales Unexpected, Issues 4 through 8. Pretty much it collects the Spectre feature, the title. And you can also collect and find them in Final Crisis Revelations. Okay? As for anything else with the Spectre, in case I missed anything particularly about the Spectre, now I'm trying not to basically give a little too much about the Spectre, basically in case of his history that much, but I'm trying to get everybody a chance to actually read about the Spectre and actually experience the Spectre full hand. When I read the Spectre, I think of him as a pretty interesting character. I mean, yes, you do find him in the first 2 books of this. However, he got his own archive book, though I think DC Comics released more of them. But, excuse me, he is a fun character. He may be kind of dark for some of his... I'm not sure how his Golden Age stories worked, but he is very interesting to read about. And if you're into any supernatural comics, start with him. He's a supernatural character. His powers are not scientific in base. It's all based in magic in some way, shape, or form. Basically, as in the case of the JSA, he is one of 2 supernatural characters who are founding members of the JSA. He is a founding member of the JSA. He joined the group, but he never served as chairman. In the entire time he was with the JSA, he never served as chairman. The Flash did, Hawkman, Green Lantern, several members did. But he has never served as chairman. Okay? Basically, find the books I mentioned. Find the other stuff I mentioned. Basically, him having 5 volumes. His third volume being the longest, lasting for 63 issues. And that's it. Alright? In my next episode, I will talk about the Ghost Rider. And I'll explain him. Oh, and pretty much the whole idea of the Spectre is simply they just... Let's see if I can find information on what was behind the concept of the Spectre. Let's see. Basically, there's not really much to do this. Yes, but I would definitely recommend checking out the Spectre. Despite the fact not many people know about him unless you read comics. But if you don't read comics, check this guy out. You might like him. You might get into the JSA, like how I did. I mean, he's one of the reasons why I got into JSA, because the JSA characters are such cool characters. Despite the fact he doesn't get involved with them that much anymore. But I really wish he would show up on Earth 2 instead of showing up on Earth Prime. He hasn't done very much particularly prior to Forever Reboot Blight. He just showed up basically a few times in the pages of Phantom Stranger. And then, of course, he appears in Forever Blight. Okay? That's it. If I missed anything, please list in the comments below. Also, subscribe to my channel. And be sure to check out my other videos I got on this channel. My other series, which is Comic Corner Classics/Non-Classics. My DVD review. I'll try to get another episode up. I've only done 2 episodes so far. I will try another one very soon. I've got more books to review. At least about 2 more right now. So basically, check those videos out. Please subscribe. I take comments down below. If I missed anything about the Spectre, I will do the Phantom Stranger at some point. Okay? That's it. Alright? See you all next time. Bye.